Episode 8 of Akebi's Sailor Uniform had the most wholesome scene in it than the entire rest of the series. That after cast scene was just way too pure, way too cute. Way too cute. I thought it was going to be a thing where she messes up the uniform and then she gets mad or has to fight being mad or something, but no, it was adorable. But no, I'm so mixed on this episode because on one hand, it was a really cool episode and did something very interesting with Akebi, but at the same time, it was really kind of rough to watch because, let's face it, this episode was all about somebody using the naivety and an overly trusting, what would be the best way to put it? Just an overly trusting, naive self of Akebi, in that she kind of just fell right into somebody's trap without even thinking about it. And it was I love the fact the mom even the mom teases her about it. It's like one of those things of telling me, no, I don't think she's really serious about it. But no, it played out well in the end, but it was kind of it felt a little mean. It felt a little mean, but it obviously seemed like this new girl, Riri, that's kind of what she does. She's kind of willing to, just jab at somebody a little bit, just kind of see what they do. But it didn't really seem like it was completely malicious, even though it seems like who seems like a friend of hers, or at least somebody that's interested in her, is kind of, prodding her like, do you really want to do this? And before I do anything, let me thank you so much. I need to find out who translates this and tweet them directly and thank them for not going crazy with the southern accent in the subtitles. Obviously, especially Riri. Riri has a very strong dialect, and you can kind of hear it. And like I said before, I've said this before, I don't really like whenever translators put in subtitles a bunch of southern twang in there that makes it almost cryptic to read the subtitles, and then you're missing what's happening on the screen because you're trying to figure out what the subtitler is trying to do. Thankfully, they just left it to you can hear her voice. She obviously has something there. Of course, most of this episode is kind of centering around, well, they first kind of go over the fact that they just got their exam grades. This is the first time Akebi's kind of experiencing a ranking system for grades. They note that Akebi is like 5th, and of course, Tanigawa is 1st place, and so everybody's kind of excited about that. Usagi doesn't even want to see where she's at. But yeah, as they're talking about this, Tatsumori and Tanigawa enter the room. For some reason, Tatsumori gives Akebi a stink eye. I'm not sure why. I think it's implying that she's upset. I think Tatsumori was below Akebi, if I'm remembering correctly. I meant to go back and look at that, but obviously she's unhappy with Akebi. Yes, they have an athletic festival coming up, and they want to set up the group, and everybody grouped into what they're going to be doing. They specifically have Akebi and Tanigawa, some other girl that we haven't seen yet, in the cheer team, and additionally, they end up getting into the swimming stuff, and that includes Akebi, Okuma, Tatsumori, and Minikami. And then they note the fact that Minikami, who is Riri, I'm going to call her Riri from now on, Riri was in like a nationals previously, so she's that good of a swimmer. But we don't want to leave it at that. Erika wants to throw a wrench into the picture and says, okay, they're talking about having her be the anchor because she's the fastest. And Erika's like, you might want to look into Akebi. Akebi's pretty good. I've seen her swim. She's really fast. So they end up turning this into like a match. And it seems like Riri's kind of into this. She's kind of into the idea of having some sort of competition. It seems like she's a very competitive person, on top of me talking earlier about the fact that she seems to like to, I guess, prod at people a little bit. And as Akebi's telling her that she's super excited about it, she notes, look, let's make it a little spicier. I came here because I wanted to wear the blazer, but now that I see your uniform, it's really nice. So what if I win, I get your uniform, and if you win, you could tell me to do whatever you want to do. And like I said before, this is something that plays really heavily into Akebi's kind of willingness to be kind of manipulated. She's a little bit too trusting and naive, and so she thinks this girl's serious. And this, like, I didn't realize how bad this was getting until she goes home, and her mother's making this summer outfit, and she's getting really upset. She's like, I need to find my swimsuit, and she starts tearing up, and her mom's like, okay, what's going on? And yeah, they're talking about the summer uniform and how great it's going to be. She's going to get her new uniform for summer. And then her mom, she's like, well, I guess I'm going to have to check the sizes because Riri might be wearing this later on. It's so mean, so mean. But of course, this turns in the actual competition. They race, which was a really cool, like, I love the animation. Like, there's Cloverworks is still pulling off their animation so well. I mean, it's just very surprising to see a swimming scene where it's not CGI or just a bunch of people reacting. It was actually, you can actually see a lot of really incredible animation put into this whole scene. And yes, at the very end of it, Riri wins, but she's like, and then Akebi's all sad and she's all excited, like, yay, somebody that made me push myself. She likes the fact that Akebi pushed her, but Akebi's so like caught up in the fact that she's gonna lose her uniform. She's like, I was just joking. I just wanted to push you. It was great. Basically, bonds created through competition. And this kind of continues into the next scene where we find out that Riri's not doing so well in school. So everybody gets together and they all work together to kind of help each other get her grades up. And additionally, I think Usagi was another one. Several people need some help. I think the interesting thing that came out of this whole situation, and I really do kind of wish that there was a little more insight into exactly how these two knew each other. Because it seems like Ai does technically know Riri. We have that scene right after she talked to Akebi about this competition. Ai's trying to push her like, do you really want to do this? And she's like, well, I don't mind if people hate me. It really does seem like she enjoys at least pushing people and at least that competition and trying to spice up the competition itself. And she's okay with Akebi, this person that's really popular in the school, not liking her. She doesn't really care. Well, I guess that'd be cold. I don't know if she doesn't care, but... And then her, like, poking at Ai, like, I really like somebody who likes to get involved with things or something like that. And it was, again, similar to later on, Ai wants to help out Riri with her schooling. So it kind of indicates this idea that Ai and Riri might have went to the previous school together. And so she may have looked up to Riri and how she was in the nationals. I think Ai was the one that brought up that Riri was... a national, she at least went to the nationals. So again, yes, more Yuri baiting, but whatever. And yes, to kind of wrap things up with Akebi getting her new summer uniform. I loved how they had the scene with Kao and the father, and she's like, when she got her last uniform, she was almost not going to wear it because she wanted you to see it first. It was like really cute. And of course she comes down there and twirls around and everything. It was really cute. I love the whole scene itself. And then to follow that up with this, again, the aftercast scene, which was just, it was so priceless. It really obviously seemed like Kao felt left out. Like she kind of was a little bit jealous that Akebi has these uniforms and she looks so beautiful in it. And she can't wait for the day that she'll be able to wear it. And so she goes in there and sneaks it and puts it on. I totally thought when she yanked that down that she would probably break the clip or something like that. But it was so cute having Akebi come in there and just like, I'm not cool like you. I about teared up. And then Akebi kind of going, look, once you grow bigger and you get to wear one of these, you're going to look cool too. And then not only that, but it wasn't just her giving her words. She actually sits her down and actually creates a nice cute scarf on her, similar to a Sailor uniform kind of collar, just so that she could feel like she's, just to make her feel like she's equal, like to make her feel like she's a part of it. And I thought that was so well portrayed. And again, shows that very heartwarming bond that Akebi has with her little sister. And again, it played into this several times throughout the series when it talks about when Erika came there and how attentive Akebi was to her. Even though Kao claims that she's being much more attentive with her, it still gives that indication that Akebi's used to, taking care of her sister. And they have like a really strong bond. Obviously, they also went to school together because their class were all together. And additionally, the idea that Kao has, I think, mentioned at some point that she's a little lonely in the idea that Akebi's at this new school and she's no longer at her school. But I think in the end, I think what Akebi's Sailor uniform does that no other show does is just have that family involvement. You just don't see it. In so many shows, there's just no family, and you don't see family. You might see the little sister character. We love our little sister characters, but parents, mothers, fathers, they're just non-existent. And to have this one show where finally we have a whole family together reacting to things. Yes, not everybody out there watching the show has all their family. We're missing our father, and so you can't get that full experience, but you know what that feeling is. You know that wholesomeness feeling of having a family together. And I think it portrays it so well. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the episode. Oh yeah, by the way, Erika yelling out for Komichi to not to lose. That was great. But loved it to death. What was the girl doing the puppet thing? Like everybody's playing according to my plan. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below, comment, let me know about the episode, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video if you can, support us on Patreon, I'll throw a tips link in the description below. Definitely appreciate everybody that does, and y'all take care.